Hey, Aaron Fulk, how are you doing?
Hi, Havens. How are you?
Good. I want to know how deadlifts at your CrossFit gym took that much out of you. But you also spoke
I
today,
didn't.
right?
Yeah, I also had a speaking event, but I'm also trying to be quiet because we have a client in here shooting. I sent you a
Now I
text
get
about it.
it.
Yeah.
We're whispering and
I'm just louder than most people. So I'm probably talking in a normal tone for most people, but it's whispering for me.
I like it. We should do a whole show in whispering. It's like when someone
It's
whispers at you, they
ASMR.
just start whispering back.
It's called a ASMR.
My favorite thing is when I'm having coffee with someone and then they go like this, they like look around. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. Like whenever someone's got to look left and look right, you're like, oh, well, they're about to
Before
say
they tell
something.
you something.
No, I think they're going to say something. I don't know whether it's secret or inappropriate. I don't know.
I don't know where I thought you were going with that. My favorite thing is, you know how I'm intentionally dating everybody right now?
Yeah, well, we're talking about before the show. When you travel, you get on dating apps and go see what other people are up to.
Kansas City is the number one worst city for dating. Look it up.
Oh wow! Is
Anyways,
it like
my
consistently
favorite is
like that?
when you're at coffee with someone and they're just like this anyways, because they're just looking at what else is out there. That's my favorite.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, that's you know what? This is a business show, business 101. You always make eye contact.
I
No
think that I
Gen
do
Z stuff.
dating. I think I do dating like business though. It might be a problem, but I do eye contact, like intentionality, all of it. It's all the same.
You
How you
you
been?
get back you get back what you put out.
I'm better at business than I am at dating though. So
Oh
um,
well, you know.
where's Saul with his comments when we need him today?
Yeah, I know. He's probably, with so many days left in the year to golf, probably golfing. But who's still working incredibly hard is Bestway International and Evardy Construction. I'm curious if they're about to have their best revenue years ever. I wouldn't say it's because of being sponsors of this show, but it could be. I mean, Evardy Construction did do all the restaurants to the airport at one point in time, so that could have been pretty good year, but I think they're both trending and hiring a lot.
Tomorrow, I'm looking this up even if you see me. Tomorrow is Cargo Cafe. Go over to the Bestway International page. Export finance without the guesswork. And they've got this guy who is in charge of international trade at Commerce Bank.
Nice.
So
Big
I'm just
time.
double checking that as Commerce. But yeah, Commerce Bank. So they've got Drew Felling on as a guest. So make sure you go watch that if you have anything to do with freight.
I love
Procurement.
that our panelists are here and they're like, what is this? So just so our panelists, our audience knows that Erin is typically a lot louder, but she's running a very successful business. She's got people behind her shooting video. It's a big deal.
I'm also tired.
Well, yeah, you did deadlifts and you spoke
Why can't I
today.
just be normal like everybody else? Why can't I just be chill like everybody else? Can I just have a chill day?
I don't know. You just got to go to bed early today.
I did go to bed last night early, but whatever. Okay, so here's the thing. Thank you to Bestway International and Evardy. If you are watching the show and you're watching it live, let us know if you're watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. If you're watching the replay, let us know there as well. You can see all the replays over on YouTube. There's hundreds of videos at this point of everyone in Kansas City over on YouTube.
Love it. Let's get ready to play that amazing music.
It's the worst music ever. Okay, let me find it. They changed this on me again.
Who would have thought if you whisper, you calm down?
My ASMR voice. I wish you would get over it. All right. So our first guest today is Jessi, and our second guest, Andrew.
Hey.
Hi guys, it's Scott's favorite music. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're just gonna jump into it, and we don't have a clock today, so keep yourself around 3 minutes, okay, guys? Okay, thanks. Don't make it awkward where I have to come tell you guys to quit talking. Look, Megan is live from
Hey,
Avila.
Megan.
I bet I know who she's here to see. All right, Jessi, who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
Sure. So my name is Jessi Bixler. I am a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a small business owner, and I'm a brand spanking new author. So I just wrote a book called The Story We Share. It is about how one sexual assault rippled through a family, that's our family, and then our fight for healing. So pretty proud of that. It launches on November 18th. So yeah, it's coming up. So these next few weeks are going to be a little bit crazy for me. So I ended up in Kansas City. I'm actually from Nebraska. I went to Northwest Missouri State way back when, and Northwest Missouri State is a mashup of Kansas City people and Nebraska, Iowa people. And so if you're a Nebraska, Iowa person, you don't want to be a Nebraska, Iowa person. So I ended up in Kansas City after college. So I live out in Lee Summit, and so living out in the burbs.
Can you tell us a little bit about, like, how did the book come about? Is this your first time writing a book, and kind of what's the rollout plan, and where can people pre-order?
Yes. So the book has been kind of in the works for the last probably handful of years. So I'm a sexual assault survivor coming up on 12 years next month. So the launch is very timely and kind of coincides with that. It came about actually as just a thought, maybe wanting to share my story. I'm actually the board chair for MOXA, which is the Metropolitan Organization Countering Sexual Assault. So I do a lot of work there, and it just seemed like it was a fit. So you can pre-order the book on Amazon on November 1st. You can get the ebook there. You can also pre-order on my website, which is thestoryweshare.com.
Through the process of writing the book, because am I muted right now?
Not anymore, but you were.
First part.
How hard was it to do both writing the book, but then also writing about something that is a subject that's a lot of people deal with a heavy heart?
So that's a really good question. And actually, I neglected to mention this before. This book is unique in that it's not told in just my perspective. It's told in my husband Chad's perspective, as well as my parents and some friends and family close to us. So it takes a chronological view of the sexual assault through the justice system, through healing, through just a variation of things. So it's unique in the fact that it takes into account how everybody processed the event that transpired. Lots of people ask if it was healing in any sort of way, and believe it or not, for me, it personally wasn't. I don't necessarily think that I've been healed after the last 12 years. I think I find it a little bit more validating. Many people don't quite grasp the gravity, I'd say, of the toll and the reach that a sexual assault takes on a family. So I'm really proud and thankful that, you know, my family and friends have jumped in so willingly to be part of it. So it was difficult, but I think it will have a great impact on the people that it gets into the hands of.
So there's no real easy way to segue, but can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Sure. So when I'm not working on the book, I also have a small business, and I do digital marketing.
Mm-hmm. And then, so for you, what was the hardest part about starting your business?
The hardest part is the unknown and just kind of starting from the ground up. So, just figuring out where my niche was and, figuring out, honestly, we were in a great position, my husband and I, in our financial situation. So really just kind of taking the time and feeling led one way or another, continuing to network with people, continuing to lean in and just kind of trust the process. So I think just honestly, just being patient and sticking to what that niche was, not taking everything that came knocking on the door just to, get a paycheck.
Not all money is good money, right?
Right. That hard lessons learned for sure.
I think you have to learn those hard lessons. Well, we're so excited to have you join us. Let's
Thank
jump
you.
over to Andrew/Drew. You made that real confusing on your thing. So you tell us what you want to be called, but who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
Absolutely. Appreciate you. So yeah, my name is Andrew Curiel. I do prefer to go by Drew. I think it just makes it shorter. So I think like if you say like Shamari and Andrew, you just said and twice. So I'd rather just be called Drew. But I serve as a director of student engagement and leadership in Kansas City, Missouri, specifically at Avila University. What brought me here was a leap of faith and the right people looking for me at the right time. Transparently, I lost my job March 31st of 2025. April 1st, I posted my resume on LinkedIn. And the one person to comment and said, call me, is my current supervisor, Curtis Burton, who's the VP for Student Affairs here. We met 2 years ago when I was visiting out here. And April 2nd was my 29th birthday. And then April 4th, we had our phone conversation. And tomorrow, I make 6 months that I've been here in Avila, been here in Kansas City. I literally uprooted my life, drove 3 days, 18 hours, and I've been serving here ever since. Along with that, I also serve as a first-year seminar instructor, basically assisting first-year students adjust to the college scene. And then I also am a part-time assistant men's basketball coach for our team here at Avila. So the way I like to really talk about what I do and how I help our students is I want to make sure that their out of classroom experience is showing in their tuition costs. So like everyone pays something to go to college. It's either time, energy, or money. Our students here at Avila, I want to make sure whatever they're doing outside of classroom, I want them to benefit from it. Learn how to be a leader, network, make connections, so on and so forth. And the way that I've been telling everybody about who I am as a person, I'm all in. I'm all in on Avila. I'm all in on young people as our future, as our hope, not only for Avila, but for our country, our spaces and places that we take up. And ultimately, I'm here for the long haul. I'm not just here to just, come by. I'm a native New Yorker from the Bronx, New York, like we talked about before hopping on air. But Kansas City is my new home. My girlfriend just joined me 5 weeks ago. So I'm looking to make Kansas City my home and make Avila University the place to be, not only for students, but for staff alike.
You've got some fans over here.
Yeah.
That's my guy, Shamari, and that's Meg Baker.
Now, does Shamari play for you?
Nah, Shamari is another, leap of faith. Once I got here, my first agenda item was to hire a graduate assistant. So essentially, a graduate assistant attends Avila University as a grad student, but also gets to work in my office, the student engagement and leadership office. I put out a feeler on Instagram, and Shamari was my first student to reach out. And we brought him all the way over from New Jersey to over here in Kansas City, Missouri. And he's going to be here for 2 years, and he's adjusting, and he's been doing such great work for us and helping us. But I'm really thankful for him and even Amari as well, my team.
That's awesome. I was going to say for you and Shamari, if that was one of your players, it could have earned some extra playing time. I'm always curious. Yeah, I'm always curious. What are some of your pillars that you try to preach to your students that may have a business application?
I think the biggest one is on my board. Just make it exist first, make it good later. I see a lot of times we're in that analysis paralysis of like, should I go? Should I not? Should I go? Should I not? And what we find with young people is sometimes they need someone to just say, just go try it. Just go see what happens. Learn by doing. That's one of my biggest things that I work on with our students and even our staff as well. You don't know until you do it. So I think me being a little bit older, having a little bit more experience in higher ed, working with different demographics, like we talked about being in Ireland, being born and raised in the Bronx, now being out here. I'm just encouraging everyone to go try, learn, see what comes out of it, and then make your adjustments, reset, refocus after.
So do you see yourself like, as far as like both teacher and the coach, which one do you find more comfortable and where do you see yourself like growing, pursuing, I guess?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm comfortable anywhere I put 10 toes on. Like, I'm gonna be real. But I will say as well, like when I'm on that basketball court, it just happens. Like it doesn't come, it just happens. I see a student struggling, like I know there's a conversation that needs to be there. I know there's a social emotional learning component behind coaching as well. Checking in on individuals. We had 2 birthdays on the team this past week. I made sure to, follow up with them and tell them happy birthday, hope all is well, so on and so forth. In terms of professionally, I think where I see myself growing is definitely higher ed. Not only do I have the energy for it, but now as I'm a young professional, I know the more experience I get, especially in this director role, I know I'm gonna have the capability to also impact lives of my colleagues, not just my students. Before I was just, impacting students' lives, but now in this director role, I have a graduate assistant I'm responsible for, I have a coordinator I'm responsible for, I have peers in different departments that I'm looking to see them succeed and grow. So I definitely see professionally here higher ed, and hopefully just continue to do this work and impacting lives.
Okay, last question, and then we got to move on. Knicks or Nets?
Neither. I showed you the Lakers flag.
Always Lakers though?
Yeah, I got exposed to basketball in 2008. So when Kobe lost to the Celtics, and then my father showed me how 2 years in a row after he won the championship, like coming back from the loss. Ever since then, been a Laker fan. Not the LeBron jump, but only Kobe and the Lake show.
Okay, if you're a Kobe Laker, I'm gonna forgive that. Not the LeBron.
I got the mama mentality right on the wall. I got you.
Okay.
Jessi, what was the most pivotal point in your career?
I think it was starting my business. So the company that I was working for in 2017 went out of business. And this kind of segues into the book process too. So they went out of business in January of 2017. And I was talking with my husband and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I feel like I've worked since I was 14 years old. So obviously I need to go get a job. So I should start applying, and nothing was clicking. No interviews, plenty of jobs, not the right fit for whatever reason. And so I went to a 1 million cups. I think it was the next day or shortly after. And I met a woman who kind of saw that I was distraught, and she was like, "Are you doing okay?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I just lost my job. I don't know what to do." She's like, "Why don't you come sit by me?" And we had coffee afterwards. She ended up being my very first client. She is still a good friend and a client to this day. So I think the pivotal point, even before starting my business, was just taking time to rest. And that's not something I did after the sexual assault 12 years ago. I went back to work 2 days later. And so I think it was just taking the time to rest, recharge, for lack of a better term, do some soul searching. And I think that's why, my business took off and still continues to do well. So that's what I would say.
That was old school 1 million cups when it was so good.
Yeah.
I have a question. Since she was so pivotal, do you feel like that you've now played that role in anyone's life?
Gosh, I hope so. I don't know. I think that would be a great question to ask someone. I don't know if I've never had the courage to ask someone that. I think that I'd like to hope that I've been pivotal in some of the work that I've done with Moxa on the bigger scale. My hope is that through this book that maybe I can touch people on the individual level and hopefully get some of that feedback. But that would be a really great question to ask as part of the process.
Aaron, time for one more question.
Quickly.
What do you think that person saw in you to approach you?
Well, I think she saw me get out of the car with a flushed face and, tears in my eyes. So I think she's just knowing her. She's just a kind person, and she's the type of person that's always kind of looking out. And it's, to your point, Aaron, she's a good reminder to be constantly looking instead of, looking down. So I think she just saw probably honestly a person in need or a person hurting. So I think it's a good reminder for all of us to be on the lookout for someone like that too.
Drew, what is the most pivotal point in your career?
It's got to be March 31st, 2025, losing my job and, no shade, but just awareness for the context. Like, that was my alma mater. That was home. I went there for 4 years, stayed there for about 5.5, 6 years. And I didn't see me leaving at any time soon. However, God had different plans. And I remember losing my job. I got the opportunity to go to daily mass a lot right around my house because I didn't have anything to do. But I know during that time, I went to a church called St. Michael the Archangel Church. And just one day in the scripture, talking about having faith the size of a fruit seed. And I remember one of the quotes that stood out was Jeremiah 29:11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future." That really stood in my head and really stood in my faith and really gave me the context of like anything God brings you to, he's going to bring you through. And for me, it was just an understanding that I'm in my waiting season, the month of April. However, it gave me an opportunity so big and so fortunate to do so many good things that are connected with me and my spirit. And being here at Avila has been so fulfilling. So I would say that's been the biggest pivotal moment in my total career.
So I feel like you do a really good job of staying present. Is that an active focus for you?
Yeah, heavy. There's a gentleman that I listen to. His name is Inky Johnson. He has his own podcast, Serendipity, with Inky Johnson, former Tennessee football player as well. He has a great quote that he says, just be where your feet are. And oftentimes we may feel like we're rushing or be anxious. It's because we're literally not being where our feet are in this moment. I mean, even being on the call with you a little bit earlier, I was thinking about what I got to do at 4:30, but then I'm like, no, like that's not here yet. I'm here now. Let's focus in. And I think that's the biggest thing that's helped me in terms of being a leader. When I'm talking with a student one-on-one, or I'm in a big conference room, whatever it may be, just be where your feet are. Be present in the moment.
To be fair, Drew, you are moderating a panel, so it's okay that you're doing that. What is something that maybe a millennial or Gen X doesn't understand about a Gen Z?
That's a good point, because that's what I just presented to high school students on Friday. We had a conference and they came, and I said, I love Gen Z. I love Gen Alpha, because literally when I look at them, I'm like, I'm banking on you to be the future leaders of my country, of my state, of my city, so on and so forth. And I think one thing that I'm learning more and more as a millennial, I'm born in 1996, and I think Gen Xers should be aware of, like Gen Alpha, Gen Zers, is that they are literally battling the same type of things that we all battle, just in different contexts. And I think when it comes to that, we got to have the understanding of grace that, yeah, their battle is different than ours, or their adversity, opposition is different than ours, but it doesn't make ours greater or worse than theirs. It just makes it relative. And I think for a lot of our students, mental health is a big thing. Taking on more home responsibilities, such as like their siblings, literally probably having to contribute to rent or take care of their own school, take care of their own car. Like those are different things that Gen Z and Gen Alpha is doing. Also finding their own jobs, so on and so forth. So I think for us, millennials and Gen Xers, a lot more grace with our Gen Zs and Gen Alphas. They are literally trying their best every time they show up.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to jump in. We got 6 minutes left. Sorry, computer problems. Jessi, how are your 2025 goals going, and how can the Kansas City community help you close out the year strong?
2025 goals are going well. Obviously, I think it goes without saying the support of the book would be absolutely tremendous for me. I think even beyond the book. So I mentioned being the board chair, so I become immediate past chair in 2026. And it's also kind of what sparked the process of the book. So I think finding other ways in large format to talk to communities, organizations, groups about what it looks like to survive sexual assault. I see it being a little bit different in, not just my voice, so mimicking the book. So it's, bringing along my husband or my mom or my brother or friends to also share their perspective. So the official term for that is secondary victims, which doesn't get a lot of press or publicity because there's so much focus on the victim or the survivor. So I think support from the community looks like what kind of spaces can we get involved in on a larger scale, in addition to schlepping books.
Love it. All right, Andrew, how are your 2025 goals going, and how can the Kansas City community help you?
Appreciate you. The goals are happening, and I'm so excited just to be aware of like our student leaders getting involved. There's 3 words that I brought here to campus: is lead, inspire, transform. It is my team and I's effort to lead our student leaders to do what they want to do here on campus in terms of making their campus experience what they set out to be. We want them to transform it as well. It's not just us leading it. I want to inspire them and have them transform their student experience here. And from the KC area, I need 2 things. I need presence. So something that Dr. Jett said at our recent town hall this past semester is that we are no longer the little school on South Warno Road that just does college here. We are Avila University. We're worldwide. We are open to all. And the tagline they has is, we are community. We can't be a community if no one comes to our campus. So I'm inviting everyone, come to our campus in any capacity. If you want to speak to students, work with students, be around the college environment and see how you can participate. I think that's the biggest way that KC could definitely help Avila University, and also vice versa. We got tons of students looking for jobs, internships, externships, so on and so forth. So come down to Avila University.
Listen, I'm a big Avila fan, especially of their theater department, because that's mostly what I know. But I will tell you, since you're living in the Midwest, you do have to make your way to Allen Fieldhouse for a game.
Yes, I'm a big KU fan, for real. I've always
Have you been to
a fan
Allen
of Jayhawks.
Fieldhouse yet?
No, that's on the agenda.
We're Jayhawks. We're Jayhawks, right?
So Aaron and I have a buddy of ours that's he's just an inappropriate guy. And who am I talking about?
Brian Schweitzer.
So I'm with Brian Schweitzer. We're opening up a fifth speakeasy in Lawrence, Kansas, and lo and behold, Jock Vaughn walks in to order. So I don't say a word because I know this friend is just going to say something wrong. And he's trying to be funny. So he'd be like, hey, I hear you're not that good at basketball. And Jock Vaughn would be like, who's this guy? So I didn't tell him. He got really mad at me. I didn't tell him Jock Vaughn was there. I was like, well, I don't trust you. Because that's KU royalty. You let Jock Vaughn be. Absolutely.
You got to be careful with that.
Yeah, you'll have to make your way out to a game. Remember earlier when I said, where's Paul? Here's Paul. Paul's coming in 30 minutes late.
He knows we missed him.
Sorry, but he is watching. Also, I appreciate you all for going through this computer issue that we went through today. Make sure that you go in thestoryweshare.com for Jessi's book and hit up an Avila basketball game. Who's your guys' biggest competitor at Avila in the basketball?
I've heard and seen St. Mary's about 45 minutes is our biggest rival. We actually have our alumni game tomorrow and then our first scrimmage on Friday.
Love that. I love that. All right. So go support. I'll have you guys stay on for a second until we're not live anymore. Make sure that you reach out as well on LinkedIn and follow on LinkedIn. Thank you guys so much. We will see you same time, same place next week.
Appreciate you both. Thank you, everyone.